So this thing here's my little e-scooter. I let somebody else borrow it and they proceeded to wreck it. Focus. Yeah, that's all smashed up. The handles got tweaked down, is yanking on this electrical cord. The button don't click no more. I had tightened that up, but now it's loose again. And the main problem is it don't stay on for more than a few minutes before it turns itself off. I've already dissected the charger port on both ends. And I think it does get a charge. Because when it does, the new problem now is that the button don't want to click. But when it was turning on, it was not showing low battery. It was showing full battery. But it'd ride for a minute or two and then it'd shut itself off. So, yeah, I'm going to do a little autopsy on it. Alright, so we're going to start up here. And crack open into the head unit, see what we can find going on in here. And yes, I know the tools I'm using aren't the correct sizes, but I don't have access to my proper tools. So we'll just make do with what we got. Alright, that appears to be everything from up here loosened up. Let's crack her open and see what we find. Alright, let's see what we got in here. Might be some cracking and breaking of plastics. This is not going back together. This has been proven itself to be no longer reliable. This is just let's see what's going on here. How does it work? Yep, hidden screws. That just appears to be the headlight assembly. There's some more screws under here. That little screw literally only holds in this piece. The other half is still broken off in there. That might have actually got broken when it got smacked. It might have sheared it. But that means there's most likely going to be some screws or something under there. Spudger time. Get underneath this somehow. Some good noises. Some good getting in there, opening up for me noises. And there we go. There's the speedometer board. The button works again. But it still does not want to power up. How much more is in here? Doesn't look to be much more going on in there other than that little daughter board. Let's try to remove these grips. The handlebars broken apart. Alright. That's neat. It's actually an extruded aluminum. I thought it would just be a pipe and a rather thick, chunky rubber grip with a key. These grips are keyed. Okay, that's new. Never saw that before. I like the brake grip with the integrated bell. One of the things I liked about this. This whole assembly could possibly get used on something else. So standard cable brake with a bell, but also has electric switch in there for brake light. So this has multiple reusable purposes. A little rubber grommet that goes in the slot to hide the wire. It's pretty neat. Twist it, twist it, twist it. It's out of there. A little bit more light than I see. Does not help me at all. Alright, so the little throttle here just floats there, and the collar is what keys it from rotating and moving around, but doesn't actually hold it on. There's a really tiny little torques under here. T10. That's almost it for that. Let's see, these guys are going to be the same they are using multiple sizes. This one work. How's this? So I gotta come through the head? Gotta get in there somehow. A little bit ahead of myself and pop that button off of there. Kaput. Alright, let's see what we got going on in here. So a couple more little baby torque screws. When the screws start getting so small, you gotta start busting out different toolkits. Smaller than a T8. Jump down to a T6. Watch, it's gonna be the T7. What's going on here? Oh, haha. Those are Phillips. Those are really stripped out Phillips. That means whoever put this together, this cap was glued on. Whoever put this together just hogged them in there. And there's room for another screw. So it's missing a screw. And that wasn't even all that tight. How do you round out the screw without tightening the screw? That is baffling to me. I am genuinely confused because these are Phillips screws. They're clearly not tight. But hey, look at that. How do you strip out a screw without tightening the screw? Interesting. Very interesting. Let's see what we got behind door number 3 here. Bunch of juicy plugs. Ooh, that little inductor looks toasty. There's some better light on that. Yeah, look at that. I wonder if that's normal or if that's the problem. I'm not too much electronics guy. I'm more of a mechanical guy. And a literal knot of wires. Little rubber cork. And all the handlebar stuff snotted together with that everlasting silicone goo they like to use. Which, to be fair to their credit, you know, it's... Well, why is this one taped though? I was just about to praise them. Why is this one taped? But yeah, I'll keep it from vibrating loose. And the handlebars for you. Yay. So now I can do this. This is a frame. Yeah, right here. Alright, so who are you? Light module. Probably do something with that. Piece of aluminum. This definitely put in the use again pile. What's going on here? Factory bodge. The green wire turns into the white wire, I think. Oh, what is this? This is toast. Okay, what we got here? Okay, so just to round things off, nice aluminum extrusion. Okay, so there used to be alignment pins on there, but those got sheared in the accident. The end of the bar got roughed up in the accident. So sort of screw supposed to go in there. And all this little guy is just a handlebar thing, so when you collapse the thing, it locks onto the rear fender. Neat little thing there. Oh yeah, let's go back to this. Throttle, thumb throttle. Alright, so that appears just to be how I thought it was. Maybe that is supposed to stay in there because there's a hole you can access the thing from the bottom. But that would just hold it in place. But then we got this going on here. What we got going on here? This dump controller got smacked pretty good. I mean, I guess it's some sort of, I'm going to assume it's some sort of Hall effect sensor. But, yeah, all the plastic housing bit got destroyed. And factory tape job. I'm curious what's going on underneath that tape. Let's peel and see what we get. Did they even bother to solder? Yeah, they did solder it. Pretty poorly though. A flying lead there. Okay, let me get a close up on this. Here's what they did. Is they just literally laid the two wires side by side and spooched solder onto it. They didn't twist it or nothing. Hell, it don't even look like the wires pre-tinned. On with the show. On with the lobotomy. Here's our board. Okay, so these must be those. These don't plug onto the board directly. These are like cinched into the board, right? I don't know. Just give it a yank. Yeah, no, those were wired directly into the socket. This is not a connector. Yeah, that is not a connector. You know, it looks like it. It is not a connector. Okay. In that case, we'll just snip. So let's see, what do we got here? 8/11/19. Well, this thing's close to the same year or same day as my birthday, 8/19. 89. This is 8/11/19. What we got here? Tufts? Yeah. TOUFS? Tufts? There's a little microcontroller. Oh, there it is again. Tufts? And right there by my finger is the antenna for the Bluetooth. This thing did have Bluetooth connectivity. There's that blue ass inductor. TM1668. TIA, I think. Huh, that's neat. More aluminum extrusions. Now, I put these in with some red Loctite. Is it red or blue? I'm pretty sure it was the red. But those are already loose. Yeah. Oh, buddy. One size strips all. Oh, well, that's all you got. That's all you got. I agree with the mantra. These things do nothing but strip bolts, but at the same time, one size fits all, one size strips all. That's all you got. You need to space save or anything like that. But if you do have access to a full tool bench or toolbox, there's no excuse to use one of these. If you're out in the field or something, that's different. If you're in a hurry, but you still have access to that toolbox, that's just being lazy. Almost there. Could have sworn I put some glue on these, but I don't see the evidence of it. Yeah. Interesting. Neck piece. Nice chunk of aluminum for the bin. And this is where I had to do my repair underneath it. When I first got it. These handlebars should come off. Pull. Nice little rubber grommet pass through. I'm not entirely sure. Most of this is probably going to get thrown away as scrap, but some of this shit is definitely going to get reused for future projects of some sort. Like this cable, it's 1 to 2 cable. No? No, that's just the electrical cable right here. Okay, I thought I had a splitter in there. Yoink that, and yoink that, and that is out of there. This head unit always intrigued me. That is a very good. Oh, you probably can't even see any of that. Come on down. You got safety here. Pull forward. And then you just got this little spring-loaded doohickey, and it just folds over. That's one of my favorite parts about this thing. That double action lock. I was doing wheelies and shit, pulling backwards on that. It was a very robust, stout locking mechanism. I've used it way further than engineers probably thought I would. What size are you? Probably one I do not have. Yeah, most certainly one I do not have, because the next size down is going to be way too small. So we're done on that side. Alright, so this is actually the part I've been kind of waiting for myself. How do we get into the floor? Nothing to here. Oh, that's literally just stick on that. Alright. It calls itself the max shot. Can you see that? Yeah, a little bit. Most of the guts are under here. Again, more stripped out, blown out screw holes, screw heads. Let's see what we got. That one's threads are stripped. I see some corrosion already, so it wasn't physical. There's a hole in there. It wasn't physical damage, it's probably corrosion that killed it. Combination of the both. Probably corroding away. And that accident probably jarred something loose. Zoom out. There we go. Ew, nasty. Nice chunky battery. Everything all silicone snotted together. Okay. Kind of connector they use for this big ass battery. Two battery connections? sure this shit's going in the trash can. There we go. Put that in your RC car. Goofy ass connectors. Oh, that's the charge connector. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Charge connector goes straight to the battery pack, which in turn goes straight on out. Which means that battery charger and this pack might still be usable for all this shit. Holy shit. I thought at first I was just coping with myself tearing it apart. Ah, there is another plug. They're all black and white black and red plugs, so this one is severely snotted. I'll rip the wires out of it. Anyway. Oh, that's not even for the battery. That goes to the back. That's probably for the brake light. Oh, there's another. There's my boy. And it has its own separate label. Type lithium-ion power battery. 2024-05-17. Huh, this is not made no 2024. 10.5 amp, 36 volt. And I got the charger for it. Winning. All right. I wonder how much of this has been out of frame. But now that the time bomb has been removed from the device, we can just freely strip this thing. This is all a fight. That thing flopping around. Yeah, here we go. HH20 little control board. Brushless motor controller, current limiting 15 amp, 36 volt, rated power 350 watt, undervolt 31 volt. Potted with some clear gunk. What is that? Is that okay? Looks like that cap was goofy, but it's just more potting compound goobered on top. Oh yeah, you can see the how thick they poured it. They just put the tape on the edge and filled it up with resin. That's pretty neat. That means our wires should be freed up from this spot here. The whole rest of this will probably just go off to... Well, I was trying to say it probably would go off to scrap, but now I'm thinking about it, there's nothing wrong with the battery pack. I could put another controller board and associated hardware in there. Because all that's left now is the front tire assembly. There's a little rubber grommet that fell inside the frame forever ago. Okay, yeah. So you got your 3 big wires for your motor. Okay, hold on. I'm not an electrical guy, so I'm trying to figure this out. We got some sort of, I'd assume some sort of like just constant voltage in. Alright, here, let me zoom in. Bring it on down. See what we got going on here. Oh, okay. Back up. Back it up. Yeah, that's too close. There we go. Okay. So we got a green, a yellow, and a blue thick one. I'm assuming those are going to be your main power for the tire. We got a red and black, which I'm going to assume is just some sort of current, like constant standby voltage. And it's probably related to these 3, which are another green, yellow, blue, but they're skinny as hell, just like these. I'm going to assume these just drive the power. These are probably sense of some kind, and this is just power to give the sense juice, I think. Interesting. Got simple wire going. They literally just glued it with the same silicone to the top of the fender. There's a little brake light back there. Piece of extruded aluminum. Alright. Well, that's pretty much it. What I got so far with the tools I got. Until next time.